municipality, census tract block groups, and census blocks. So I'm going to start from the bottom and move up. So we have this area called census blocks, and they cover the entire nation. And that could be the block that your office is in, the block where your home is in. Like I'm in a town in Burlington County, and I can see the block where my houses are. Like I can look up and say, like, what block is that? What's the number scheme for New Jersey? We only release certain items by block level. You can only get the decennial census numbers, but you won't get data from the ACS, and I'll explain how that survey works. But let's say you want to put together data for a neighborhood. So maybe, for instance, I am a business and I'm looking to maybe I do lawn and gardening stuff, and I want to put together an ad campaign. I say, okay, what zip codes or what towns do I want to use for marketing? How do I do that? So you can look at data by block group, which is a collection of blocks, and they have a certain population threshold. So, some of them might be as low as 600, some may be high as 3,000, or say, I'm looking at Cherry Hill, New Jersey. What census tracts make up Cherry Hill, New Jersey? So you can look at those census tracts, which you can get data from multiple items. And I'm going to show you what types of data we have. But everything's tied to a level of geography. So if there's an area where there has been maybe a growth between the 2010 and the 2020 census, the census works with local planners. I've worked with plenty of the planners in New Jersey, Monmouth and Ocean County, Atlantic County, and we work with them to change these geographies every 10 years to reflect population changes. So what's great about this is we change it only every 10 years. So you have like a stable timeline and say, you know what, I want to look at Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I want to see, like, if I want to open up a restaurant or something down there, I want to know kind of like what's the economy like down there. Okay, so think of it in that term. So for our data sources, this is the biggest survey that the census does. Like I said, we do the every 10-year census every 10 years, but in between those censuses, the data, they're point in time. So you can only compare the 2010 census to the 2020 census. But with the American Community Survey, we do this survey annually, and then we send out what we do is we look at addresses, we break it up into 4 quarters, and then each quarter a certain sample of that population is going to get the American Community Survey. So overall, 3.5 million addresses every year get this data. And what's great is it's refreshed data, so you can compare from year to year, what's going on in a community. So you'll see the questions that are in the American Community Survey. Those are questions that are created by the government to meet other federal government agencies. So you'll see questions about how people get to work, what's median income. You can get data by age and sex. So what happens is it's created for federal government programs, but we release it to the public so that businesses like you, so nonprofits, such as other anybody can take and use this data and see what's going on. You want to take a look at like what's been going on in New Jersey from year to year to year, as far as like, there was a story that came out saying, how many people leave and come to New Jersey every year. They're using census data to see like where are they coming from, where are they going to, and what particular counties in New Jersey are growing or shrinking every year.
So is that information, so you're going to tell us about New Jersey and how many people have left the state?
Yeah, I can show you, I'll show you 2 tools, and we can kind of start at a higher level so you can get an idea how they work and how you can grab data.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So the data is collected in questionnaire. So computer questionnaire. Sometimes people will come to your home. So there's an online and an in-person version. You can get data, from all over the nation down to your local area. We release the data. So every year there's a refresh. So we do a 1-year release and a 5-year release. So the 1 year is for those very big geographies that have 65,000 or more pop. So you can get like a 1-year sample, let's say for New Jersey every year, right? Because there's like 9 million people in New Jersey. So you can look every year at the counties and see what's going on in those counties. Or if you're looking at that local level, let's say like, the individual who was looking at doing marketing, if he's looking at some of the smaller geographies, he gets a 60-month sample. And I'll show you the difference between a 60-month and the 1-year sample. And then all our tools are on our census website. So it's 24/7, every day, all that data is available, and it's free and it's accessible via our website. And so free is the important thing. So the ACS, so if let's say you're putting together a portrait of maybe an area you're looking to do, open up a business, the ACS has 4 different channels. So you have social data. So I work a lot with grant writers, right? So they're always looking at information like education, relationships, like for a family household, who's in the household, fertility rates, grandparents who are who take care of their grandchildren. Then you have your basic demographic data. So these are the similar categories kind of to what's on the decennial census. You can get sex, age, race, Hispanic origin. Maybe you're a realtor and you're, advertising your agency. You want to know where are the housing units that I could cover, that I could send information to. You have your economic data. This is important for businesses, right? You're looking at median incomes. You're looking at like what kind of occupations people are in, how are people commuting for work. Then the housing information, the Census Bureau is the only agency that collects detailed information on housing. So I've worked with real estate agents. I worked with a woman who wanted to open up a home for vets down in South Jersey. And she was looking at where could I potentially, if she had a certain, money that she's like, okay, this is what I have to, maybe buy a home. And she was looking at what are the average home rates for the area of New Jersey she was looking for. You can see if you do something with internet, you can see like how many people have internet, in a particular area. So there's so much data on here. It can be a little overwhelming, but that's when the DDSs, we come through and we help you find data.
So Naomi, so if you're looking to move to another county or another state, this would be the place to go for the information?
Yes, because we have data for the entire nation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah. So if let's say you're in New Jersey and you're like, you know what, I want to expand into Northeast Pennsylvania, you can look at all that data for wherever it is you want to look for.
Great.
Yep. So again, so our demographic data, we have age, sex, disability, languages spoken at home. I worked once with a business in Philadelphia that was expanding for solar panels, and they wanted to do advertising in other languages. And they said, okay, where are those people who speak a particular language? Economic data, so you can look at, if health insurance. I've had people contact me who sell health insurance who want to expand. They can look and see where are those areas where there are people who don't have health insurance, right? You can look at, like I said, for housing data, anything with the housing market. You can look at tenure. Is it owned versus rented? What kind of utilities are in an area? What's the average mortgage or rent? Areas there where there's maybe a high or low occupancy level and housing value. So like I said, this is data we're collecting every year or every month. And then once a year, we release the newest data that's available for the United States. So if you haven't worked with a survey before, one of the things to be aware of is something called the margin of error. So for instance, this is a table of Philadelphia County, and they're looking at the 5-year estimates for maybe sex and age, so male versus female in Philadelphia. So it's an ACS data is considered an estimate because it's a survey, right? So there's always a plus or minus involved. And that's this margin of error. I go over this because when people see this data, they may ignore the margin of error, or they may want to know what this is. So this is the opportunity that some kind of like data that was incorrect or wrong for some reason might have been brought into a survey. So whenever you see a survey, like there's big think tanks that do surveys, they have a margin of error. A lot of them don't show you that. The census shows you because we want you to be data savvy and be aware of what it is you're looking at. So some tables have an estimate and a margin of error, and then some tables have a percentage. So right now, when this data was new in 2019 in Philadelphia, there were slightly more females than males, right? So they give you that much. So that's what it means. So here's the estimated number. And if they give you a percentage in the table, you can say, well, I'm kind of into the estimate, but I really want to know the percentage. So this is how you read a table. Okay, I'll go through it again in an example. So people ask me like, what are the rules for using ACS estimates? And we say there's no hard or fast rules. If you're looking through a data source and you say, you know what, I think this data is fantastic, this is exactly what I need, you need to evaluate whether or not that ACS estimate is going to be useful towards you. Okay, so we can't say, yes, that's great. That's, I'm not going to say that I'm going to show you how to get to that data. And then you go ahead and make, you look through the information and said, yes, I want to use this because I believe this is going to help me open or sustain or expand my business.
And Naomi, you're going to go live onto the website and show us actually how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yep. So I'm
And
just going to
someone had asked about census data. This presentation is about census data available across the country, not just in New Jersey.
No, this is the
Someone asked that
entire,
question.
so yeah, this information, like the decennial data covers the entire nation, Puerto Rico, our island areas. So all that ACS covers the 50 states, and there's a particular ACS for Puerto Rico. So Census Business Builder is another tool I probably won't get to show you, but I want to show you, that's one that's geared towards business people, but you kind of have to understand. That's why I go through like step by step a little bit about the data before people dive in there. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention is, before I forget, my last slide. So you can contact me or one of our data specialists with any questions. This is the email that you can send your question to, or we also have a phone bank, or you can send it to me or anyone else. We have a product called census.gov/academy. And this is where 24/7, there are videos made by subject matter experts such as myself and people from our headquarters. And they do these videos, whether it's a quick video, like you say, oh, I want to learn a little bit more geography, I'm kind of interested in how to use it. We have specific geography videos that are like 2 or 3 minutes that go through what that is. We have at your own pace courses, and we don't charge for any of our courses or webinars. You can sign up, and let's say in the future there's like an ACS webinar you want to watch. You just sign up. You can watch it when free when it's being done in person online, or you can sign up and they'll send you a link to the video which you can watch at your own time.
Okay, so someone is asking, can the database information be downloaded? Can you save it?
Yes, you can. I'm going to do a couple of demos right now.
Okay.
I want to make sure.
And so everyone know that that's on the call that we're going to send out these slides. And we've now started. I didn't start it immediately at the beginning, but we are recording the webinar. So we'll send out the link to the recording also.
Can you see the Census homepage right now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our Census homepage. So the address is just simply census.gov. There's a lot of stuff on here. Whenever we have like maybe a webinar series, we advertise it. We have for people, and so if you're ever part of our census survey, you can come here and you can verify that it's a legitimate survey. You can get a verification of somebody who may have contacted you and get survey help. So that's right here. So the two tools I'm going to show, first, I'm going to show you something called Quick Facts. Because if you're putting together a business plan and you just kind of want to need a number quickly, I really like this tool. And then we're going to deep dive a little bit more into our bigger tool, which is called data.census.gov. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to open this Quick Facts into a new tab. Might be a little bit hard to see, but it starts with Quick Facts.
It's very little.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can maybe make it a little bit. Is that a little bit better?
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, so let's say you put in a state or a county and you say, okay, I want to look at Ocean County. Just go and type it. Okay, Ocean County, New Jersey. And it has all of these facts. So here's Ocean County and it's comparing it to the United States. Let's say we want to compare it to the state of New Jersey. Okay, see how simple that is? You just type it in and it sticks it right here. So here's the column for New Jersey data. Here's the column for Ocean County. So we have population estimates that we do every year. And these are the ones that newspapers love, these estimates. This is when they come and they say, oh, X percentage of people moved out of New Jersey, or X percentage of people moved into New Jersey. Those newspapers are getting this estimate data. So they're using census data. You can look at age and sex, right? So if you want to do something with elderly or elderly care, it tells you how many, what's the estimated number of people 65 and over in New Jersey versus Ocean County. Here's the race data. So in case you're interested in race data or language data, we have that information too.
It's based on the 2020 census. That's the last information that's
No,
available.
this is American Community Survey data. So this stuff here, this is that every year survey that we do. So you'll have some information here. So see how it says population April 1st, 2010?
Yes.
These are the last two decennial censuses. So these numbers are the official numbers that come out. So in 10 years, you can see that New Jersey has had growth because it's gone from 8.7 million to 9.2 million. See, so, and then it tells you the number for Ocean County. And you can see over 10 years, the growth that's been going on in Ocean County. And if if you live there and you drive through there, you can see it, right? I like to look at the census data, and when I'm out traveling and parts of the US or whatever, being a New Jerseyan, I'm like, to me as a demographer and a geographer, to me, I'm like, these numbers I find it fascinating, and I can see in my own town in Burlington County how much it's just grown over the past 5 years. Okay. So
fascinating.
It is, it's pretty fascinating. Here's, if you do anything with veterans, we have data on veterans. Here's that housing data. So here's like medium values, medium gross rents, building permits. We get building permits every month from building permit offices throughout the United States. And it's, these are for 2022, the number of building permits. So if you're in manufacturing or support, maybe manufacturing, that might be might be interested in that. And these are for residential permits. Family and living arrangements, languages, how many people live in the same home. Here's that computer and internet usage, education levels, health data. Health is a big industry here in New Jersey.
Okay, so someone is asking, is historical data available to see the changes for selected time periods?
So for the decennial census, I believe you can go back till 2010. If it's something past that, I can work with someone to use our librarian to find the data, because not everything is digitized. Like, what I'm saying? Like, we've been the 2010 stuff, because we were really using a lot of electronic data collection in 2010. Like, we have a lot of that data that's already available. So for the decennial census, it goes back at least till 2010, maybe 2000. The ACS, which is the survey, we've been doing that survey since 2005. So that data goes back as far as 2005. Now, if someone's like a genealogist and interested in that historical data, we have some on our website, but they are better off working with NARA, which is the National Archives.
Okay, so we had another question. It's Rosa is asking, she's trying to locate a city of the United States with educated upper middle class Hispanic speakers to promote my services. Is there a way to do a general search?
No, you would have to pick a geography. So if you would maybe interested in New Jersey, you can start at the county level and see like what are those counties that stand out, maybe in the particular language usage. And then that'll eliminate counties where maybe there's not a lot going on there. And then you can concentrate on those counties and then go dig further down into the county level. That's how I would do it, from a top-down approach.
And people can come to your team, and if they are looking for particular information that they can't find, they can come to your team and ask for help.
Yeah, if they have a particular question, they can send it to like that Ask Data box, so they can send it to me. And then I can do some research and get the information that they need. And we don't charge for that. So this is quick facts. So like I said, this is Ocean County. If you wanted to pick like a particular city, let's say Toms River Township, you see how quick that was? So you went from New Jersey to Ocean County and say, well, I'm looking at information for Ocean County. I want to look on data for Toms River. And this is the latest information for Toms River. And you see how quickly it works. And this you can download. You can download this information in a table. You can do some maps and charts. They're not like the greatest, but it's available there. But what's nice is you can also share this on social media. So if you can, you can email this to someone, you can print it out this way. Or if you want to select a particular fact and don't want to kind of scroll through the table and say, I want to look at, again, persons 65 and over, it'll kind of highlight it for you. Because I know sometimes I'll scan through a table and something I'm looking for, I'm like, I don't see it there, but this kind of points it out for you. Okay, so this is quick facts. Any comments about quick facts? Okay, so I'm going to go back to our main page. The big tool that we use is called data.census.gov. So you can get it from our homepage. Or excuse me, if you go to data and maps. So we have particular topics. If you want to learn about anything in particular about a census topic on our website, just hover over topics and they have income and poverty, housing, all these different topics that we have data for. Data in maps is where if you go to here and you want to go to Census Academy and watch a video, you can do that way. We have trainings and workshops that you could sign up for, map visualizations. But if you want to find those, the data tools that I was showing you, you can go under data tools and apps, click on there.
Okay. Naomi, one of our mentors who was on the call is asking for business owners, there used to be a different site that the Census Bureau gave out instead of census.gov.
It used to be American Fact Finder. If people use that, that's no longer available.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So that turned into data.census.gov. Yeah, we sunsetted that a while back. Here's so if you kind of scroll down here, there's all these different data tools. So one, I'm not gonna, like I said, I won't have a chance to go into, but there's a lot of videos on Census Academy on how to use this census business builder. But I like to give people a foundation about the census before I dive into other tools, because sometimes it's just it's just too much. Excuse me. I'm going to go back to our main page and go to data.census.gov, or you can just type in the address and the website. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can do kind of like what you did with quick facts, where you can put in, I want to find information. Let's say I have a geography that I'm interested in. I want to look at, let's say, Newark City, New Jersey. So you can click on a geography. So you're going to need a couple things to use data.census.gov. You need a geography, and then you can pick a data item. So right now we have our geography, and then we have our city. There's Newark, New Jersey. I like this because it kind of zooms into it. This is really good too. You may want to look at this population profile. So you kind of hover and do a right click and open it in a new tab. So this is a little bit like quick facts, but a little bit different. They have some other items that are on here. So let's say we chose Newark, New Jersey. It zooms in and shows you the map, and it gives you the population, employment numbers, housing, income, and poverty. So it's like quick facts where you can get very, very quick data for your business applications and other items.
And then how do you download it or copy it?
So what you can do here is, let's see if there's a way to, well, you can share the URL. So let's say I just go ahead and do this. Let's see, and I can I can put it, I can send it to someone else. So that's the first thing that's nice that you can do about this. You can also, let's see, I think there used to be another share button down here. Let me see. Yeah. They have the population pyramid, ancestry data, languages spoken at home. This is, like I said, this is just a snapshot. You can dive deeper into a geography. So if I go back to why I have Newark, I can say, okay, I want to look at a particular topic. So you see here on the left, you click on topics. So this has information on businesses, education, employment, government data, health, housing, income, and poverty. You pick your topic. So right now we're looking at the entire city of Newark. So I'm going to go ahead and do populations and people, and I want to see languages spoken at home. Okay. I'm just looking at one table. Like there's an ancestry table. There's a whole bunch of like the estimates and projections, but I just kind of want to do one simple table. So you want to make sure you have in your filters your geography and your subject. And then what up in here where it says all and it says tables, you click on table. We'll just give it a second. So I'm going to just kind of like close up some stuff. So I wanted language data for the city. So this table subject table 1601, this is a very popular table for languages. So here you have for the city, there's a total column, a percent column. See, there's that margin of error I spoke about. Percent of a specified language. So we have English, English only, English less than well. You have those categories, but you also have these are people like who speak English. Maybe you want to look at people who speak English and they speak it very well. You can go down here and say, okay, how many people in the ACS speak Spanish, but also say that they speak English very well. One of the things to recognize about the American Community Survey, so when it comes to your home, your housing unit, one individual fills out that form for everyone that's in that household, okay? So for instance, when we get, if I get the ACS, I would fill out for my husband and myself, or he would fill it out. And then they would ask you for individual one, does that person speak English? Well, very well, and then you can get these estimates by, how well they speak a language, and you can get it broken down by age. You can do it. So these are all the different kind of languages. This is just
Emmy, I see also on the top that you can download it into an Excel spreadsheet, or you can print it, or you can share it.
Yes, all of our data. So if you want to grab another table, you just click on it. You can look through it. You can turn off the margin of error. You can download this into an Excel file or CSV or a zip file. Excuse me. You can also share this with the link and share this to someone else that you think they might be interested in it. I'm going to show you how to do a map doing other geographies. So I'm going to
I have two other questions if you have a minute to ask them.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Can you search for types of businesses, producers of foam plastic food containers in New Jersey, as an example?
So for that service, for that data, we do our business data is usually in the economic census. This is a census that we do every 5 years that goes to businesses. So you can look at econ census. Let's say if we want to, let's pick another.
Yeah, I think that information is actually available through the library system.
Yes.
They have a Reference USA that we do webinars on a couple of times a year. So I think that type of information about businesses is available. And Mike is asking that question. So I think the Reference USA library system database has that information.
I'm very familiar with Reference USA because I've worked with a lot of librarians in business section, and it's an amazing tool because they can do things that we can't.
Right.
Because we are only using census data. They use all those other data sets that cost money, but I think that what you can do with Reference USA, I'm always amazed. Because you can get down to a very granular level with a lot of things that the census cannot legally.
Okay. And then another question, they're asking about statistics or information on religion choice of people.
We do not collect that.
You don't do that,
nope.
Right?
We haven't, no.
And someone is asking for homelessness data.
If you want data on the homeless population, the best place to go to is Housing and Urban Development. We collect that information when we're doing the decennial census because we need to count people where they are. So we work with an agency like HUD to collect the information on the homeless population, but that's as far as we go. So try the HUD website.
Great.
Yep. Anything else?
No, those are the
Okay.
two questions so far.
So, we were talking about surveys. Oh, you know what? Let's see if I can show for New Jersey. I spelled it. But let's go to a really big geography. So for really big geography, they'll have the American Community decennial census. There's the economic census. We also do economic surveys that are hosted on here. So the annual business survey, the annual survey of entrepreneurs, manufacturing. So we conduct a lot of surveys on the economy. Some of them, and they'll go to businesses, from big businesses to small businesses. Some of them are annual surveys, some are monthly, and some are quarterly. And then you have non-employment statistics. So we have an economic division that just does surveys and censuses on the health of the economic business community. That stuff is also on here. And then the ACS has information on people. So if you're interested in like what kind, in Ocean County, what kind of occupations do people who live in Ocean County have? So when you're talking about business data, there's two sides of the coin as far as the census is concerned. That's why it helps to be very specific when you're asking a question and say, I said, tell me exactly what it is you need, be as very detailed as you can, because that helps me and the other staff look through the data sets and get you exactly what it is you need. Or if it's a question that needs to go to another division, we can move that question to another division to get answered.
And to sign up, you have to go in, sign in, create a profile?
No, for this tool, you do not. Nope, none of our tools. If you see, I went right to the website, quick facts. You just go right in it. You don't need to sign up for anything.
Wow.
Yeah. We base our statistic on clicks. we don't take any information from the user.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
So many sites really are, collecting your personal information when you.
Oh, yeah, they want
sign in.
every bit of information. Absolutely. So if you're looking at business patterns, let's say for New Jersey, you can click on county business patterns, this is a great database. This breaks down in, you can do multiple sectors. So for instance, this very big table for New Jersey is all sectors for business patterns, including zip business patterns. This is by legal form of organization. So there's a lot of info on. This is a county business patterns. We've been doing this survey since the 1950s. So this is one of those that has historic data. So, if you ask me for a particular data item and you can say, well, what years can I get for a data set? We can tell you, does it only go back to 2015 or is it an older survey like this one?
And what do we need to know about those codes, the NAICS code?
Yeah, so are you guys familiar? A lot of you are familiar with NAICS, right? The NAICS coding system. We have an entire page on NAICS. So the NAICS coding system is derived from the economic census. So every 5 years when we're doing, they used to be called SIC codes, now they're NAICS codes. Every time we do the economic census and they see like if a new industry has popped up, does it need a new NAICS code, or is an industry that can be folded into another NAICS code? The census is the one that collects that information. And they do it for the United States. So we work with Canada and Mexico. They do their own NAICS coding system, but it's all under this classification system. And then there's another version of NAICS called the North American Product Classification System. And this came out a few years ago where you can look at information by product. So this is NAICS. So if this is where the NAICS coding system comes from. So sometimes I work with the business owner and they need to know a NAICS code, but they don't know what it is. But if they tell me their industry, we can look up the NAICS code for them. If
Right.
not, there's a specific department at the census. There's a NAICS email. So if it's something that I can't answer or something that you want to send right to the NAICS department about, what's my industry number, you can email them and they'll send you your NAICS code. So we have a lot of support for data users.
That's great. I never knew this was available. This is
Oh,
wonderful information.
Yes, I always say the census is the best kept secret.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have time for some questions, but I know I didn't get through everything. So I just kind of want to make sure that everybody is aware of our Census Academy and how to reach me. Actually, let me put up my slide.
I think I went through all the questions. I think I got, they asked about downloading into a spreadsheet or an Excel. Yep, that's all. And someone was saying, they were looking for information in different states. It's all national information. You could do
Yep.
it by state
Absolutely.
and then filter it down actually by county or city, right?
Yeah, I think those are the two probably geographies that a lot of people would be interested
All
in.
right. And Christine, who is a realtor, was asking, there was a lot of points you made about how the information would be helpful to people in the real estate business.
Yeah, I mean, I think because it's interesting. I mean, I love real estate. I love to kind of follow what's going on in New Jersey. And there's so much data that's out there on the real estate market. I mean, you hear a lot in the news too, right? And we all kind of get overloaded, but it's interesting to see, what the reports that are out there. We've seen a lot of flux here in New Jersey from everywhere. So you can kind of see the growth. So I like to look at the data and then look at like what's going on in real life. And I think that's just really super interesting.
Mm. And the data is actually updated every year, not every.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the ACS is every year. I mean, the decennial census is every 10. A lot of econ data is every 5. So yeah, if there's something that someone is particularly interested in, we can find out the data source, and see like what's available and how often it's updated. So this is information that also county chambers of commerce love.
Okay, so we have one more question. Dora is asking, how could this information be used for an independent insurance agent that specializes in auto and home insurance?
So one thing that we have information on, let's see if I can get back to it real quickly. Let me go to data. Is you can look at, let me go back to here. I'm going to use our advanced search. So we have information on how people get to work. That's under the American Community Survey. So let's do the 5-year estimates. I'll do New Jersey as well. See if it'll do that one. And I want to do a topic, and it would go under populations and people. So there's a residential mobility. There is, let's see. Let me look under residential mobility and see what tables are available. Mobility. We call it journey to work data. Let's see if something pops up. So for instance, here's like, I just had the US as a geography. It tells you what the average travel time to work is. You can say how people get to work, means of transportation. So if we kind of click on that table, so if you wanted to do it for a particular geography, so these are estimates, right? So this is for the entire US. How people get to work, like how many people drive, what do they drive? Are they driving a car, truck, or van? Are they driving alone? Or do they carpool? How many people use public transportation? So you could also do it by age and sex breakdown. You can do it by earnings. So let's say you're looking at a geography and you want to do some marketing for people in maybe a particular income level. You can get that down to like the township level and say, where are those areas that fit my criteria, like who drive to work and have a particular income level.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's a lot of data mining. It's really great. And I'm not just saying this because I work for the census. I really do this. It's really fascinating.
Well, Noemi, this has been very helpful. I appreciate the information. I know everybody on the call does too. Again, we have regular statewide webinars. We have 3 next month. All of the local chapters, as an example, the one that Bob is with, the Southeast New Jersey chapter. He talked about an in-person seminar they're doing out of Toms River next Monday. Bob is going to be the presenter. Our mentors also are subject matter experts because they've all lived through a lot of businesses, startups, been business professionals for years. Not all of them are retired, and a lot of them now are working still and are willing to share their expertise with business owners and people who are looking to start a business. So please go to score.org/find-mentor. Like I said, you can look for it by industry, you can look by zip code. It doesn't have to be anybody. You can look by the person's name. You can look up Robert Goodyear and find him. If you'd like to work with Robert and start with Robert and then expand from there, you can have a team of mentors to help you. We're going to send the slides out. We'll send the recording out. Like I said, I forgot to hit the record button right at the beginning, but very shortly thereafter, I did hit it. So you will get a link to the recording. And Robert, as the host, anything else you want to add to end up our call here?
No, I appreciate everyone being here, and please don't all call me at once, okay?
Thank you. People are saying thank you. No, Naomi, it was wonderful to meet you and to have you on the call today.
Thank you. Let me know anything I can do. I'm a local resource here in New Jersey, so.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great day. Stay cool.
Okay.